Yo, what's going on, people? My name is Tuck Love. Welcome back to the channel, and we got some more big news going on around the NBA. Another huge trade. Russell Westbrook traded to Houston for Chris Paul and some picks. Wow, crazy. Now, the details of the trade are Houston gets Russell Westbrook, and the OKC gets Chris Paul, and I believe it was 2 first-round picks and 2 swaps. And for OKC, that just means they're stockpiling more first-round picks. Let me actually pull up the screenshot from Woes. Thunder actually have, because they had the Jeremiah Grant deal as well. They have 8 first-round picks going on all the way until 2026. They have They have a 2020 first-round pick from Denver, a 2021 from Miami, a 2022 from the Clippers, a 2023 from Miami, and I believe, a 2024 from the another 2024 from the Clippers, and then 2 2026s from Houston and the Clippers. So this pretty much means that OKC is officially no longer a playoff team. They are in rebuild mode as of, I guess yesterday afternoon. There will be no more playoff showing for the Thunder. Sam Presti is he's dumping and he's reloading. So we'll see what they do. It's probably going to be another 4 or 5 years until we can say that they're relevant again. But we'll see where they go with all these picks and where the direction they decide to they choose for free agencies down the road and whatever. Now let's talk about Russ and Harden playing together in Houston now. I'm not too sure now. I know the one benefit that they do have is that they are friends. They do talk outside of playing basketball. I've heard they are pretty close friends. But as far as playing basketball, there's not a huge difference between Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul. Chris Paul, they're both great passers. They both can score. I would say the biggest difference between the both of them is Russell is a worse shooter. He's a worse shooter. I won't say worse scorer because he could still get 25, but he's a worse shooter. Like as far as the mid range and the 3 goes, and he's not gonna get that. He's not gonna get it done the majority of the time, I believe. And when you have a player like Russell Westbrook that can kind of get in his own head when it comes to jacking up those shots, and he's just not afraid to shoot, he kind of shoots himself out of the game, and you see him go for 25 plus shots per game. And I just don't know how that's going to work with Harden unless he decides to completely retool his offensive game and focuses more on just finishing at the rim, maybe drawing fouls, and just getting his teammates involved, because we know he can pass. He's averaged a triple-double in the past 3 seasons. We know he can pass, and we know James Harden can pass because he's damn near averaged a triple-double. They've both been MVPs just purely off their stats and what they bring and how they carry their team. So as far as them playing together, I don't know. It's kind of going to be a wait and see thing for me, because you have a player that can, you have 2 players that are great passers. You have James Harden, who's a great scorer, but then you have Russell Westbrook, who is a good scorer but not a great shooter. So and on top of those issues, they're both very high usage players. Like they both require the ball to be in their hands the majority of the time when they're on offense. So I don't know how they split that up, because you see we all saw the issue that Chris Paul kind of had with James Harden, because he felt like he wasn't getting enough touches or whatever. So I don't know if Russ plans on retooling his offensive game, because Harden is obviously going to be the #1 option. So it's kind of going to be a wait and see for me. I'm not fully convinced that it's going to work out. It could work out. Just it depends on Russell's mentality next season. And on top of all of that stuff, you also have these 2 players that have what's the word? They don't have the greatest track records in the playoffs. So you got Russ, who I don't think has ever been. I think he's been past the first round once, right? I think he's only been past the first round once, maybe once. And Harden, who has never been past the Western Conference Finals, because they keep running into those juggernaut Warriors. So as far as the playoffs go, I don't have a lot of faith in them in the playoffs. I mean, just because they went together, the two great players that have linked up, but they still don't have the greatest record in the playoffs. So we'll see about that. Maybe the friendship between them can be enough to kind of bring that together. I don't believe so, but then again, we still got 82 games in a whole playoffs to go through for next season. So you still got to play those games. We'll see what happens. And as far as Chris Paul goes, I don't know what OKC has planned for them. I heard that they might be in talks for a trade to Miami so he can play with Jimmy Butler. I can see that as a good fit. But I don't. Chris Paul at this point of his career is I don't know. He's on the decline. He was on the decline. We saw the last couple of years with the hamstring injury in the playoffs last year, and then the previous year, and then last year, and then last season. With just his play, he had like a couple good games, but he was pretty much non-factor for the majority of the playoffs, especially that Golden State series. So Chris Paul, I don't know what the expectations are for him nowadays. He's still getting paid way too much money, in my opinion. I mean, the contracts were similar. They were lucky that the contracts were similar. I mean, Russ is getting a little bit more because he has an extra year on his contract. So, but yeah, for the money that Chris Paul is getting, I don't know. I don't know what you're gonna get out of him. So I mean, he's getting his money, but is he gonna go out there and he's gonna be Chris Paul that he's always been? I don't think so. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Another big move in the NBA, another blockbuster trade. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Give me your suggestions, your feedback, and all of that. That's all I got, man. And make sure you like, share, subscribe, all of that stuff if you enjoy. And until next time, I'm out here. Deuces.
I came from the bottom, finna head to the tippy. One thing a nigga notice, I gotta get it, that's why it's a lot of money talking, so I don't understand.